What's up, guys? TikTok here with another look at some of the figures I received recently. Today we're looking at the Masters Universe 1/12 scale Mondo exclusive 2000X He-Man figure. Now this recently just got shipped to me. It's been pre-ordered for a few months, and I was on the fence with this particular scale and figure because I did start into the real Ghostbusters, and I did see the 2000X He-Man when it was announced, and it looked really cool. And I did see San Diego Comic-Con, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So I was on the fence though, because I already have my classics, I have my origins, I have every single He-Man figure except for, the original vintage, which I still need to work on getting. But the 2000X, I love the cartoon, but I wasn't a huge fan of the figures. I did have them at one point and got rid of them, so I was like, But after seeing this at San Diego Comic-Con, I was like, this looks freaking awesome. And I was like, and I think, honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, it was Clawful that actually made me push to get the line. I think I was more impressed with Clawful. So whenever he comes out, I'm very excited about. But of course, you can't have if you're going to have a He-Man collection, you have to have, if you're going to have a Masters Universe collection, you have to have He-Man. So, had to get him. So, as you can see in this packaging, you can see the really cool cartoon artwork that they did. Mondo did really good with good job on the box. So, gorgeous, animated style on the box, which looks really cool. On the side, we just basically have Masters Universe 1/12 scale. So, this is basically the 6-inch line. Really, really cool. And then here on the back, of course, here's some, a little bit of bio on He-Man. And then, of course, everybody who's made that. So, who did the designs, the sculpts, the paints, all that good stuff. So, really cool. Now, basically, usually there's a flap on these boxes, but now they changed them up. I think it was Man-E-Faces where they don't do the flap anymore. So, no worries. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of the packaging and a closer look at the 1/12 scale Masters Universe He-Man 2000X edition from Mondo Collectibles. We'll be right back. All right, here's He-Man out of the packaging, and I have to say, this looks freaking awesome. Dang, I am blown away on this figure. Like I said, I saw him at San Diego Comic-Con and I was interested, but I think my mind was on Clawful, that I was excited for this, but I wasn't as excited as I'm now. This is dope. This looks so freaking awesome. I'm blown away, honestly. I didn't really expect it. God, and what if they end up making the regular figures in 1/12 scale? Imagine. Oh man, it's gonna be expensive and a huge library. But anyway, let's take a closer look. Look at that face sculpt, that head sculpt. That just beautiful. Look at that hair. That is, look how stoic he looks. At first, I really thought that the head was kind of small for the body. But now that I got him, I don't believe that at all. He just looks, look at that, beautiful, beautiful. This might be figure of the year, guys, to be honest. Now going down, of course, you look at the definition and the muscles and everything that's coming through on him. Those big old shoulders and arms, God. And then his chest, you got all the definition on his abs. And then of course we have his harness, 2000X symbol there. Goes all the way back, and he has places to put his swords and his axe and all that, which is really neat. Going down, you got the furry loincloth underneath, which looks really nice. And then you got the belt, which has a little fanny pack in the front. Yeah, another fanny pack on the side too, so That's where he holds his berries. The only thing I think, I mean, I remember this, I guess, from the cartoon. So I kind of wish this was kind of in the back, but no worries. Look at that cool detail on the belt, the emblem right there and all that. I love the coloring that pops with that silver. And of course you can remove it if you want to. On the arms, he has his arm bracelets. One is like longer, has those big jewels in it, and then here's just a regular one. The detail's insane. I mean, look at you see like basically the veins on him. Ah, this is freaking awesome. Big old legs, you know, and of course, you know, he does have the knees are kind of small, but it fits. Unlike the 1/6 scale, like I always felt like the knees were too skinny and it didn't look right, but it looks perfect on this. Going back with the boots, got the the fake fur again. And then look at the way the boots with the stitching and all that. Just, this is awesome. Now, originally, like, when I went to the Comic-Con, of course they showed the Mattel version, like the cartoon collection. And I saw them, and I saw them in person at Walmart, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I think I might get them, but I didn't see them in person, and I thought they were cool. But now that I got this in hand, there's no way I'm gonna collect that line. I'm going all out for this line, cause this. Look at this. I mean, look at the bulging muscle there that's just popping out. This even surpasses classics. I'm sorry, everybody knows classics is my favorite, but so let's look at the stuff he comes with, because this is the deluxe version. So he does come with a lot of he does come with a few things extra. So let's start with the hands. I always got the hands out of the way so we won't have to, be talking too much. So he doesn't come with that many. He comes with 2 gripping hands for right and left, and then he has this kind of open hand. So, look at the detail on the hands. They could have done something for the fingernails though. That's the only thing. They should have done something with that to make it a little bit stand out a little bit more. But man, this is, look at how gorgeous he looks. I'm too excited. Next up, we got some head sculpts. So we have his mouth open, his stoic, his kind of mean look on there, which, with his mouth open. Very nice detail, beautiful hair on the hair. I mean, of course, Mondo, man, on their figures, their 1/6 scale figures are just gorgeous. So I'm not surprised. But like, here's his mean look on here, which is really neat. I mean, look at the textures on the hair, just like so awesome. Oh man, I don't know which one I'm gonna put in. And then he does come the special edition or time. No, it's not timed. It's special edition. Or is it timed edition? I don't even know. Yeah, I guess it is a timed edition. When you order it first, you get the other, you get some more extra stuff. And this actually is kind of like the long hair. I guess maybe Castle Grayskull hair sculpt. I think it would have been really neat if they would have came with a cape. So it would be, so you can make Castle Grayskull, because he just comes with it. And of course, Castle Grayskull had a cape. So it's pretty cool that we get this hair version of him, which is really neat. But I don't think I'm going to use it, to be honest, because, it's not Castle Grayskull. And I'm very, very excited. I know that there was I guess PowerCon or the He-Man convention that's coming up. I forgot when it is. I think it's in June. I don't know. Or is it in September? God, I don't remember. Yeah, no, I think it's in September. The He-Man convention, where Mondo was doing this version of He-Man, but anti-Attorney He-Man. And I was like, man, I really wanted, it was going to be exclusive for that, but they ended up selling some on Big Bad Toy Store, and I was able to grab one. So I was so excited about that. So now that I got this guy in hand, I can just imagine what anti-Attorney He-Man looks like. I'm just so excited. You have no idea. Let's go and look at some of the other accessories. Of course, we have his shield, which is beautiful, and that the red just pops, and you got that silver around it. Looks really cool. And then you got those green kind of electric, you know, deals, I guess, or lines coming out because electrified, I guess. I don't know. And then we have his axe, which also has that aqua green highlights in there also. His battle axe. Looking really cool, of course, 2000X version. Man, this is honestly, like, I'm so ecstatic for this one. And I can't wait till Skeletor gets here. And Clawful. And even Man-at-Arms. I know we're getting a Merman, and I know we're getting Tila also. So I'm hoping they go deep. I'm okay with getting all of these. Next up, of course, is the Power Sword 2000X, which looks really nice. You have that aqua all over it, which is really nice highlight. And you got the line going that way. I guess electrified, I guess. So I'm surprised it didn't come with like an effect, you know, but it's really nice. It looks really, really cool. Like I said, just gorgeous. Now, of course, it comes with the regular stand, and I have the what do you call it? The holder. It's somewhere around, but anyway, it's somewhere around. I think it's in the other room. But anyway, here is the stand, exclusive stand that comes with him. Kind of got a gray skull, Stonehenge right there. Not really a lot to this, but it's pretty cool to have. You got Mondo 2026 Mattel on there. So, you know, of course we'll pose them with the stand, or you can put the effect up on them. But there's a lot of detail to that, you know. And of course, I think it was $20 more, I believe, than the regular one. Because they sell they sell him alone, a standalone, for $101, I think. And to get him with a stand and get the stand for $20 with extra head, you know, it's pretty good deal. So I mean, it's cool. You know, you don't really need the stand. I thought maybe that there might be like somewhere where he can just stand, but there's no peg holes on him. So you just put them on there, or you can just display them with, you know, that holder. So, but yeah, this is really, really awesome. I mean, let's go over the articulation. It's real smooth up and down. It just goes really nice and smooth on him. You can, there's a walker right here, you know, a lip basically up and down. I mean, there's so much you can do. Head rotation, side to side. Not much to the front or back on the head, but, you know, and then the legs go all the way. Yep, you can do the splits, basically. And then you have the fluidness of the knees, so you can basically pose him pretty well. And then, of course, the rocker, swivel up and down on the foot. There's not a side joint, but that's okay. I mean, it kind of feels like Storm Collectibles in a sense. You know what I mean? These are more, I believe, more articulated than the Ghostbusters, because there's double jointed here. Because I know the Ghostbusters, the legs you couldn't do. There was no double joint on the legs. But man, this looks so freaking awesome. Look at him. Gorgeous. Yeah, he's contender for figure of the year, I'm telling you. Well, all right, well, let's go ahead and get them posed out to get my final thoughts on the Masters Universe 1/12 scale He-Man from the 2000X series. We'll be right back. All right, here are my final thoughts on the Masters Universe 2000X He-Man from Mondo Collectibles. This is the 1/12 scale, meaning it's 6-inch, which is kind of crazy because a 12-inch is 1/6 scale. So anyway, yeah, I got confused too on that before. Spectacular figure, awesome, just beautiful. Everything about it looks great. I love the detail. I knew Mondo was going to do a good job with this, because like I said, they do so well with their 1/6 scale figures that, I mean, all of a sudden, you know, these are just awesome. So I'm really looking forward to them coming out with more stuff. Of course, we got Merman coming, and then Tila. I think those are going to be the next two coming, you know, shortly. I have a feeling it's going to be soon, maybe before the Comic-Con, maybe. Um, and then we'll see what Horizon shows. I'm looking forward to them doing a Whiplash, Too Bad, Stinkor, Roboto. I mean, it's crazy, and of course these figures are a lot more money, but look at what you get, you know what I mean? This is not your, go to Walmart and find the 2000X version and still looks like a cool figure, which I do like, but it's missing a lot of accessories, and of course it's just not to par with this, you know what I mean? So I chose wisely. I knew when I saw them both at Comic-Con, I saw, the Mattel version and then this version. I said, no, I'm going to collect this version. And I'm glad I did, because this is, I think, what I want, this is where I want to go with it. There is a kind of a pet peeve that I do have on this, or something that does kind of bother me a little bit. And it is the stand, which is really cool. But the problem is, to me, I think they should have made it a little bit bigger, because the problem is that when you put them on the stand, it's really narrow. So you really can't, have them on the stand. You need this to hold them. So that, to me, is a little, you can put them like that, which is, I guess, okay. But I kind of like the fact that, his legs can be more stretched out like that. That looks a lot better. Now, like I said, there is a holder, but the problem with this is it's all in black. So that kind of is questionable. I would think this would have been in clear plastic, so you won't see it, because when you have it on him, you actually can see the black. Now it just connects like this, and I gotta kind of push it out a little bit so that way, once you put them on there, you can see. Well, let me push this up a little. It holds them well, but the problem is you can see that black, which is a little annoying. You can barely see it, but it does its job, right? And the cool thing about it is you can do your dynamic posing with it, but I don't know, to me, I think I like him without the stand. It looks really cool. The stand's cool, but like I said, I wish it was bigger, just a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, so you can do more posing without the stand. All right, so what do you guys think? Are you collecting this? Like I said, he is definitely contender for figure of the year. He's beautiful, he's gorgeous. If you haven't got him, I highly recommend him. I think he would be a great addition, especially if you're into the 2000X lore. I really feel that this is what Mondo needs to do. I know that there was a niche for 1/6 scale, meaning there wasn't really a market for that, and they started to do that, and they did really well with their figures, obviously, because I have a whole bunch of them. But just imagine if the regular Master Universe was in this scale, or even Batman Animated Series, which I really like the ones that they came out with. Not the McFarlane ones, I guess, but I guess the original. Well, they're probably the same thing. I think they did the same thing with Batman Animated Series. But the problem is that they were real expensive, and I think if Mondo did them, that'd be killer. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, you can probably get this. I know that they're both, of course, the Time Edition's gone. You can't get the stand or the head unless you get to aftermarket. But I believe you can still get the regular He-Man, not on Mondo, but I think you can get them on Big Bad Toy Store or Earth Entertainment or wherever. It's still available, but like I said, but once they go, they're gone. So, and I say that because Peter Venkman is now completely gone. Like, you can't, I don't know if you can find him anywhere. And now, the aftermarket prices are twice as much as what they are now. Like, I saw Peter, I think, for $200 already, and just a regular version, not the one with Boogeyman. So you have to get these, fresh and get them within a few months, because if not, they're gone. All right, so let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until next time, please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. we will see you later.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.